is using that for rocket fuel for those Patriots.
You know, I think that motivation is one of the best things that Coach Creasy does. Now, he's an extremely good football coach, but you better believe that it's motivational fuel for sure.
Well, our show, as always, each year is brought to you by Ideas Tees. It's the place in Rutherford County for school spirit wear, screen printing, embroidery, specialty items, and more. Plus, by all of your officially licensed MTSU Blue Raider merchandise from Raider Tees. For Blue Raider tees, polos, hats, and more, visit their showroom at 910 Ridgely Road. Just turn off Broad Street between Chewy's and Chili's. Ideas Tees can put your logo on just about anything. Stop in and see how they can help you promote your favorite team, workplace, or organization. Find out more online at ideastees.com. When we come back, we're going to start the show letting you know what we do on this show. We'll be right back.
Since 1966, Fans Heating and Air has been a symbol of quality for Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. For friendly, complete service on Amana, Bryant, or American Standard heating and air products, Fans will do it all. Sell you your choice of products and then install it with their factory-trained, experienced professional staff. In the unlikely event you need service, Fans will be there with trained technicians. Fans Heating and Air is located on Jayhawk Court. Call 615-893-7930. Fans Heating and Air.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Lascassas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
Whether you have a quarter acre or several, Lascassas Feed Supply has premium feeds and dog foods you can't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Lascassas Feed.
Plus, every Saturday morning they have a local producer-only farmers market with fresh vegetables, beef, pork, and more.
Customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, Lascassas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Lascassas.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service. We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service reminds you that it makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We've been serving Rutherford County since 1988.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're just off Memorial Boulevard at 142 Heritage Park Drive.
Is your car running like a dream, or does it need a little TLC? At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we treat your vehicle like it's one of our own. Let's hear what some customers have to say about Dr. Automotive.
Been coming to them ever since he opened up. Good family. I recommend other people to get them repaired here because I knew they would do it and do it right. Been happy to send people to him because I trust what he does so much.
We're crazy about him. It's all about the doctor.
For quality care you can trust, visit Dr. Automotive in Smyrna. We've got the cure for your car.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. I've lived and worked as a lawyer in Middle Tennessee for over 30 years, and to me, every single day has been an honor. That's why our firm is so involved with community programs like bicycle helmet giveaways and our Safe Ride Home program. At the Law Offices of John Day, we're not just looking to make donations. We want to make a difference in the community we hold so dear. And if you're ever injured, know that we are here for you too.
When Rutherford Countyans think of insurance professionals, they think Rayburn Insurance Agency at 200 South Lowry in Smyrna, meeting the needs of thousands of customers since 1973. You can trust Rayburn Insurance with all your needs, a place where customer service really matters. It's personal with Rayburn Insurance, as fans of local sports, as friends, and as insurance professionals. Check them out at rayburn.net or call 615-459-4145. Rayburn Insurance, for business, auto, home, and life insurance.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
All right, we're back. Clark Blair, Danny Brewer, and Hot Rod, according to his email, Edwards is in the house. What do we do on this show? Well, Brian Barrett told me last year, Clark, won't you take it over? I said, that's a dangerous thing, Brian. He goes, oh, we trust you. Well, what we do is what we want to do, man, right?
Yeah, we coalesce the sporting vapors, and we convey that over the airwaves, right?
And then we just let it flow.
Let it flow. So we kind of try to stay in the lane, but sometimes we get out of the lanes, and who knows what's going to happen this year. Every once in a while, John Dinkins might decide to show up. We'll see. The executive producer, Brian Barrett, I think, is going to be kicked back in his lazy boy chair with his dog. And
Right. Yeah, I don't think we'll see Brian. John, if we're lucky.
If we're lucky. Now, it's a little early to talk pigskin picks on the schedule here, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. There's rumor. There's already been a request for a complaint about pigskin picks before we even start.
It must be John Dinkle. Is that right?
Could be.
Is it like some sour grapes because he didn't finish as good as he wanted to?
I think it just irks him every time he walks in here and knowing how many years in a row that Brian has won it and he is not. So I think he's already going to file a complaint. But we'll get to that. There's no high school football this week. We kick off next week. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So want to start talking about what we do. First of all, our number one goal is to celebrate local kids. We like celebrating kids and what they're doing, opportunities they have in sports, whether it's football, it's fall. We'll throw out some girls soccer, some volleyball, some golf, anything we find to recognize local kids. We're going to do that on this show whenever we can. We were talking before the show about coaches and how much time and energy they put into the same thing, recognizing local kids.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we don't understand sometimes what a great value a good coach is. So when you have one, it's very important to kind of, make sure you appreciate them, because there's lots of coaches out there and there's lots of good coaches out there, but there's not so good coaches out there.
Well,
so when you get a good one, you need to be thankful for what you have.
You have a lot of coaches show up on Coach's Morning, Coach's Corner, and they've spent a late night. They got home late. The adrenaline's going. They probably didn't sleep well when they first got home, but they're there every Saturday. And the reason they're there is because they want to celebrate their kids, tell about what their kids have done.
And Rod, you coached for many, many years. And if you're like me, when I was coaching, some of the best times at school were those long hours and those relationships we built.
That's right. And that's what it's about. In fact, it was, even if you finished winning, say, the last game of the season, when you went home, you were disappointed because that clique that you had working together all that time, you started probably in September or August, depending on what sports you're in, but that was over. And you always miss it. It takes a while. A lot of times I was depressed a week or two after that, or even if we had a bad year or a good year, didn't matter.
Just because it was over. Oh, here you go, Danny. I got something for you. We're not talking horses yet. Speaking of relationships, little girl played point guard for me. She shows walking horses. I'm going to the walking horse show here in about 2 weeks to see her.
Walking horse celebration. All right.
Celebration. Just a little taste of horses. We'll get into horse maybe a little bit later on that too. So again, the biggest thing is we just like celebrating young people and the coaches and all the efforts they do throughout this fall season. Let's move on and talk about, since December, since we've been together, because that's kind of selfish, have you got a sports-related story since we've been together you want to share? And I'll give you a minute to think about a sports-related story, because I'll go first, because I'm going to go first. I got my shirt on tonight, man.
Oh.
National champions, Tennessee Volunteers. I went to Omaha.
Oh, did you?
I didn't see the national championship game, the final.
Uh-huh.
I went to the Florida State game.
Oh, that was a dandy.
That was unbelievable.
I thought it was all over, didn't you?
As we were check swing away. If you remember that game.
Oh, yeah.
Blake Burke. I stood probably 30 minutes that ninth inning with my hands crossed just like this, praying the whole time. Come on, Lord. Come on, Lord. We need something. And it was incredible. It was incredible. I've never done that before, been to Omaha, and it was an incredible experience. Great town.
I've never been there either, but nothing like the pure excitement of something like that, which I've got one too.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so mine was this year at the Kentucky Derby. So being the fearless prognosticator that I am, I stepped out on a limb and I chose Mystic Dan to win the Kentucky Derby like 2 weeks before. I had a video out on YouTube. Of course, I've got the trollers that are like, "Yeah, you're an idiot. I'll book your bet." All that kind of stuff. All those comments were coming, and I was on Lexington TV the night before, and I picked Mystic Dan, and of course everybody's like, huh? And so I was on 3 different radio stations up there at Churchill, a Lexington radio station, a New Orleans radio station. Of course, on WGNS here, I did my pony picks that Friday, and all of them I picking Mystic Dan. So a buddy of mine, Mac McBride, one of the best in the business as far as media relations goes. He runs Del Mar out there where we'll be going in a few weeks. He said, man, taking a swing, ain't you, boy? And I said, yeah, Mac, hey, if he wins, I'm a genius. If he loses, I'm the same idiot I've always been. He said, you're right, son. So me and Mac are standing there in the trackside watching it, and, of course, we had a little wager together, and he had a fierceness and stuff, and I had Mystic Dan, and we're watching him, and I'm calling the race. I'm getting chicken skin right now thinking about it. And so when they're running around the track and we're watching all that kind of stuff, and then he comes home, and of course, it's that photo finish, and you talk about while they were waiting on the photo to go final and them to decide, that was this is what Brian Hernandez Jr. said that rode Mystic Dan. He said, that was the shortest 2 minutes going around, and when they were deciding, looking at that photo, it was the longest 2 minutes of my life. And same for me, because like I'm pacing and stuff, and then it went up as Mystic Dan won, and man, I'm yipping it up, and of course I had a nice little wager on him too. But the fact that I was right about something, despite what my wife thinks sometimes, but anyway, that's another story. But anyway, the fact that I was right about that, it was just so rewarding for me. The money was secondary, but that's my story since we've been together. Just like I said, just adrenaline rush. Like I said, right now my heart's pounding just thinking about that, because like I said, I'm so into this sport, and it's just such a wonderful game. But the fact that Mystic Dan won the Kentucky Derby, thank you, Kenny McPeak, thank you, Brian Hernandez, and thank you, Mystic Dan.
Good times. Brother Rod?
Well, the only thing I could think of that really made me kind of get chilled was in the Olympics, in the women's rugby game, in the bronze medal. Did you all happen to see it by chance?
Was that the one that ended on that last play?
Yes. I watched the last part of it, and we're down, I think it was 12-7. And so we what we would call a touchdown is 5 points. They're back almost on their goal line, which is not what they call it, but back I talk in my terms. And they started the play with 12 seconds left. They tossed it to the third girl, and she broke 3 tackles all at once. They all converged on her. She came out of it and was gone. And in their rules, after a touchdown, they'll kick from where you go enter over the line. So she was right there, dead center, right in the post. So she's right in front of it. Easy chip shot and win. It's just one of those, because we've never won a medal in rugby, in women's rugby, for that kind of pull out with 12 seconds left. It just was one of those chillers.
Like the old ABC Sports thing, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, the thrill of victory, right there for sure.
Right. And of course, I know New Zealand was crushed, and they were one of the power teams really in rugby. Them in Australia, or maybe it was Australia. New Zealand played for the championship.
So did you watch a lot of the Olympics?
Yeah, I did.
You?
Not a single minute.
I watched very little, just to be honest. I was more of a highlight days. You get your phone, you can pick the highlights. I'd see stuff like that, Simone Biles, or I'd see the basketball teams or something. It's more of I hate to say it, I'm a Sports Center generation, I guess is what you'd call it.
But I'm one that I'm going to DVR everything. Okay, move along. Okay, there's a score, go back. That type of thing, but kept track, and there's certain ones I wanted to watch, and our kids did great, and we had a lot of sports that we usually didn't medal in that we medaled, and they had great stories behind them. The struggles they had, it was not easy for them, but they got there because of perseverance.
It's always a good thing. Every 4 years makes it even more special. 4 years from now, they'll be in Los Angeles, so if you get a chance to head out to LA, you can catch the Olympics there. So good stuff, gentlemen. Good stuff. It's always a good time that's why people love sports. They love again, that thrill of the possibilities.
Exactly right. It's the adrenaline rush, like what you were talking about and what I was talking about. That's why I love horse racing, is because it's such an adrenaline sport, and it can happen pretty quickly. Like I said, 2 minutes you get such a rush, and then in about 20 minutes you'll get another one. Kind of like I said. Whereas like with you in the ninth inning and everything, and with Rod, and the waiting on that last 12 seconds, it's that adrenaline rush and that high that sports gives you. That's what keeps you coming back, and that's why you love it, and that's why we're all right here talking about this stuff.
Well, you go to that championship game with Tennessee, and that slide that Hunter made coming in, that was just an unreal slide. You don't slide like that, just the guy had instincts to make the play, and that was the key score for them to win the championship.
You get on runs, teams in all sports get on runs at the right time. Things go the right way for you, and you can win those things. All right, we're going to take a quick little jump over to speaking of adrenaline. Are you excited about a new coach up in Nashville with the Titans? Are we excited, or are we going to wait and see?
I'm kind of a wait and see. I'm not a big pro football guy, so it's kind of I'm definitely a wait and see, because like I said, it's I don't my son doesn't rise or set on pro football. I can tell you that for sure.
I would say I'm more excited than not. I see areas that we really had trouble are looking better. I mean, go with the offensive line. We picked a big, strong kid. He's going to struggle, and I heard a couple of them on radio talking about it. He struggled today, against the top defensive lineman. But that's, it's a learning curve. But the things that I'm looking at is, like, the son seems to have a variety. They don't know what we're going to do next on offense. I think everybody knew what we were going to do on offense. More unpredictability. I think they have got more talent, but they had more money because they didn't have the quarterback salary. And and if you can get a college quarterback and have him for a couple years, you can really build a strong team, because there's a lot of money spent on seasoned quarterbacks.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks, of course, Ryan Tannehill is no longer with the Titans, and he doesn't have a job right now. He is still a free agent. I don't think that'll last long.
No.
We'll get in the season, somebody will get hurt and pick him up.
I heard McCarthy, from Michigan, is out.
He's out for the year. That's hard for the Vikings. Of course, Derrick Henry is a Raven. That's going to be hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But you mentioned the additions: Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, Tony Pollard, all offensive players added to the Titans, which is going to make them, I think Levis will be a quick hit kind of kid at the quarterback if he's got the time to throw the ball. Something happens. Mason Rudolph was picked up in the offseason as a backup quarterback. So we'll see. They did keep a few people that they were worried about. Folk is the kicker, which sounds funny. You talk about a kicker, but he was huge last year in the games that we were in. We also mentioned off air was coming in talking about the new stadium, and so we're going to talk a little bit about the new Titan Stadium, some predictions, and we'll scroll on down through the college ranks as well.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Life changes, then it changes again. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. A job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure that you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard, or give us a call at 615-907-7056 for an appointment. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. What are some of the advantages that Carpets by Osborne has?
Being a family business and being locally owned and operated, we do free estimates. We have our own subcontractors that work for our business. We will come out, look at your floor covering. Throughout the whole process, you deal with an individual. You're not passed off to different contractors. We handle it from start to finish.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
Hurry up and try new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs. They're 4 fun-sized puffs packed with layers of pepperoni, cheese, and sauce, and only $3.99. So what are you waiting for? Try them now.
You heard him. We need to go try these new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs right now.
Stop doing it!
Little Caesars Crazy Puffs, 4 fun-sized puffs packed with layers of pepperoni, cheese, and sauce, and only $3.99. So what are you waiting for? Try them now. You heard him. We need to go try these Little Caesars Crazy Puffs right now.
Stop doing it! Drive like the wind, Debbie. Enjoy delicious new Crazy Puffs on the go for just $3.99. Only at Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza.
You've seen the ads out there, companies wanting to buy your home. But why sell yourself short when you can get fair market value? I'm Lisa Patton. If you have an estate to settle or a home to sell, call Parks Auction. We'll work with you to sell your home or property in any condition with no costly repairs on your timeline. Why accept one offer when you can have multiple? You need Parks Auction. We look out for your best interest. Call Parks Auction today. We handle everything.
Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
All right, we're back. We're going to finish up a little Titans talk. The Titans open their season here fairly soon. We got a preseason game Saturday night against the Seahawks, but nobody cares about preseason. Opening game is September 8th as we head to Chicago. Get to run into an old MTSU alumni, Kevin Byard, who now plays for the Bears. And we talked a little bit about the new stadium. If you'd like to watch the new stadium being built, which means you've got nothing to do, but you go to TennesseeTitans.com, click on where it says new stadium. There's a camera right there. I looked at it this morning just to make sure it was working. Well, not this morning, this afternoon. But little men just going around everywhere, working boys, getting that thing going.
Yep, big money going on there. Big money.
Big money. There's you're not kidding. So they're throwing all their chips in with Levis, trying to grab, like Rod said, some extra players, trying to get a little swing going before they start asking for those new ticket PSLs in that new stadium, which are going to be hard to get by. The Titans are predicted to win, and why they predict half wins, I don't know, but they do. 6.5 wins this year, which is not going to excite anybody. They have the 21st toughest schedule in the league. Depends on how you look at it. That's based on last year's group. 6th is another one I found based on projected wins of teams for the upcoming schedule. So if you're a Titans fan, I guess we're going to wait and see, but I hope they do well. It's time for them to get everybody excited again.
Yes.
It's just good for the community, no matter what the sport or the season or group, high school, college football, pro football. Everybody's a little bit happier when things are going well.
Winning breeds winning, and that breeds excitement. And yeah, it is. You're right.
But it does drive the ticket prices up.
You doggone Skippy on that.
It drives it up. Let's skip over to baseball for a minute. Rod, our teams are not doing really well.
Well, yours did pretty good this weekend.
This week. They've moved up a little bit. That's because we played.
Now we're tied.
We played each other. Now we're tied for being terrible. We've got less than a 5% chance to make the playoffs. The Braves played today. They lost. They've won 3 in a row in San Francisco. They lost today, 6-0. I wish John was here tonight so he could bemoan his Braves. He still has a pretty good shot at the playoffs, though, Rod.
Yeah, but it's not as bad. You're 60-61. We're 60-61. San Francisco's 60-61, but we're 4.5 out of the playoffs. So if you get a hot streak, you can get in.
There's still a long way to go.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, we had about an 18-game winning streak. So maybe I'm calling for that again.
Well, there's 40 games left. So, anything can happen. And like you said, a little hot streak can really go a long way. Have you been happy with Sonny Gray?
I've been just a little disappointed. It's been inconsistent.
Well, he's your leader in wins.
Yeah.
ERA.
Yeah.
And Ks.
But it's one of those where several games, he come out and then he'll either have a real bad start and then he'll pitch real well the rest of the way, or the other way. He started out like 4-5-1, so basically he's been 500 since then. But I think Sonny's going to work it out. He is a professional. He said right now, things are going well. He had 10 strikeouts or something last game. but he gave up like 3 home runs. He just said, I've got to work at it, and he's one of will.
One of the things that I can absolutely unequivocally look anyone in the eyes and say about Sonny Gray, he's a winner. That's it, period. If I'm going to describe Sonny in one phrase, or one word, it's winner. Yeah. That's what he is.
That's why the season's not over yet.
Precisely.
And we've got a couple others, pitchers that are experienced, but they're that type. Gibson's that type. So we'll wait and see.
Well, all you Braves fans out there, we've got some big games coming up for you. They get the Phillies and the Nationals in about 10 games over the next 2 weeks. So you're going to see some movement one way or the other for the Braves. Little another side note, summer. I went to L.A., saw the Dodger Stadium, and went down Anaheim, saw the Angel Stadium. Was not impressed with the Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, I've never been to Dodger Stadium. I've been out there a number of times. I've chosen to go to another sporting venue rather than Dodger Stadium, but Santa Anita Park. But that's Chavez Ravine, I guess. Well, how old is Dodger Stadium though? Let's think about that.
Old enough they've not done anything to update it, Rod. It was unbelievable. Have you ever been?
No.
I mean, it's out. You feel like you're going out in the middle of nowhere. You go in the stadium. It's like, have y'all done anything? They had a huge. It was cool, but a huge huge bobblehead thing. People taking their pictures, but it looked like it's been there since 1960. They're one of the richest franchises.
Well, they're spending all their money on players.
They are definitely spending all their money on players because they are not spending it on the stadium. I was really kind of disappointed.
Yeah, you look at it, it looks kind of plain, except you have some palm trees and stuff, and a little bit of water. But it looks like the parking lot is very boring.
Yep. So you see the pictures from, when they're in the playoffs and they're taking those pictures of the hills in the background. Like, oh, this is beautiful. That was kind of beautiful, but the stadium itself.
Right.
It reminded me of the old Sound Stadium.
Now, if you're
on Greer Stadium.
Yeah, old Greer Stadium.
If you're on the hills looking down the stadium, you wouldn't be that impressed.
No, not at all. Now, the Angel Stadium, it was, Disney owns it, so they put
it's a lot newer, too.
A little more money, a little newer. Now, they're not very good, but that was a fun thing. All right, let's go to college right here in town. Danny has talked to our new football coach. MTSU has picked 4th preseason in Conference USA. Liberty, of course, the overwhelming pick to repeat in 24, followed by Western and Jacksonville State. There is some excitement, I feel like, in Murfreesboro with Coach Mason.
Without question. Talking to him, I just talked to him yesterday, and he is really, really excited to be in Murfreesboro because he said, I don't know if there is a better fit for me than MTSU. And here's what, from talking, here's kind of what the gist of that is. He's a football guy. He wants to coach football. He wants to grow young men. He wants to do it the right way. He's old school in some of his mentalities and all that kind of stuff. And MTSU gives him that perfect opportunity because we mentioned a little bit about this before the show started when we were talking amongst ourselves. Big-time college football is kind of like minor league pro football right now. When you think about SEC, Big Ten, there is a Big Ten. Is there a Big 12 anymore? Is there a Pac-10 anymore? So all this landscape has changed so drastically. So when you're dealing with the programs, in the SEC and all that stuff, it's a different animal. You're not just the football coach. You've got to be all kinds of other things. And now at MTSU, he needs to be community-oriented, and he has to be an ambassador and all that kind of stuff. But he doesn't have to be anybody's agent or any of that kind of stuff. He can concentrate on coaching football and giving kids opportunities to play the game of football and further their education. And that's what he's really focused on, and I think that's fantastic. I don't think that they could have gotten a better guy than that based on his mentality and what he's looking to do there. So I think there's lots of things to be excited about with Derek Mason and MTSU football.
And Rod, he's doing something we've been asking for years. He's recruiting really hard in Tennessee.
Yes, and that's something we've complained I've been with different groups of it. We've complained here, but I've complained with other people that I've been with. At times we've all complained about it. I know he's also going to churches, other places to talk about the program and all. I mean, I know he went to St. Mark's on a Wednesday night, Methodist Church, which is not too far from the stadium. And and one of the people asked him, from what I heard, is, I'm a former coach, and MTSU never was interested in any of our players, and he says we are really going to look through Murfreesboro. We got 2 people we're really contacting right now from within the county. He didn't say who and all, but what he's trying to do, he's trying to sell the program to the community. And that means a whole lot.
And that's absolutely the right thing to do. When you think about the district in Rutherford County, it's the SEC of high school football in the state of Tennessee. When you think about what we have here with the state championships and the state title contenders, with Oakland playing in 4 straight state championships, you got Riverdale, who was knocking on the door last year. Blackman has been really good. Smyrna won back-to-back in 06 and 07. I mean, in Middle Tennessee Christian School won the state title this year. When you think about what we have within the confines of this county, it is a hotbed of talent. How many kids are leaving Rutherford County to go other places when they could stay right here and play? And so hats off to Coach Mason for doing that. And I think it's very important because, MTSU's had a slogan for a long time, our town, our team. Okay, all right. Well, then let's make that our town, our team, because, I was talking with somebody the other day. We were playing in our golf league, and I told him, I said, because we were talking about Titans and stuff and Tennessee football and all that. So I said, well, man, and I've been to lots and lots of Tennessee games, had lots and lots of fun up there. Loved going up there on the hill. Man, I'm just as happy going right over there to MTSU, right over there on Greenland Drive, and going over there and watching MTSU, because you can see some really good football over there, and it's not the cost and it's not the hassle of going all the way to East Tennessee, but you can see some really good football there. Talking with Coach Mason as far as his philosophies philosophically, he's an extremely good defensive coach. He has been a great defensive mind for a long time. And he said, we're going to be aggressive on defense, which I like. I think that's good. Hey, if you beat me, you beat me. But we're going to be aggressive on defense. We're going to aggressively react, is what he said. That was kind of the term that he used. And offensively, I think they're going to mix it up a little bit, where we won't see, the thing about, if you watch, of course, I've been to a bunch of games. If you took the uniforms off of some of those, in the conference games, if you took the uniforms off and they both wore white uniforms, you wouldn't know who was who, because they do the same thing. It's you go up there, it's the hurry up, no hurry up offense. We rush to the line of scrimmage, and we stand there, and we take 25 seconds while we're barking out signals, or we're looking over the sidelines and watching the coach do all his jumping around, all that kind of stuff, and then we call a play, and then we run it. So I said, Coach Mason, what are you going to do? He said, we're going to mix it up. We're going to do different things. We've got versatility on our roster, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to be versatile. Sometimes we're going to pound you. Sometimes we're going to hurry up when we need to. We're going to throw it some, but we're going to be versatile, and we're going to try to be a little bit less predictable. And so I think that's good. I think that's a really, really good thing.
Well, you've mentioned slogan. Derek Mason was noted having a Burrow-built, middle-made T-shirt recently at one of his practices. He has already gotten 8 commitments, 8 for 2025 from the Middle Tennessee area, including Rockville offensive lineman Bo Bryan and Riverdale running back DJ Taylor. And so he is working really hard in the area all around. He said we can't lose kids to similar type programs. Right. We all know a kid's going to go to Tennessee or a Vanderbilt or a Michigan or a Alabama if they get that opportunity, because what kid wouldn't? I would.
Right, exactly.
But if we're all three the same kind of athletes and we're getting offers from UT Martin, Middle, Western, Austin P, some of the other mid-majors, we got to keep those kids here.
Yeah,
I agree wholeheartedly.
And that's what he's trying to do. So, it's going to be interesting. There's going to be some probably growing pains. We had a lot of transfers leave. We've had some transfers come in. So we'll get to know our Blue Raiders pretty soon. They open up against the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles. That's good OVC days.
Is that a blast from the past?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Then the problem is we go on the road the next week to Ole Miss, which is going to be a tough one. But there's 1.6 million reasons why we're going to Ole Miss.
Well, absolutely right. And that was one of the things that's one of the battles, the big battles an MTSU coach will face, whether it be Rick Stockstill or now Derek Mason or before that Andy McCollum, is you have to play those money games when you're in MTSU. You have to. That's what you have to do.
Season tickets are still available if you'd like to get those. The home slate, you got Tech coming. You've got Western coming, which is a huge game. You've got Duke coming. You got Duke's coming, so you can see them. Kennesaw State, Liberty, of course, who they are predicting to win, is coming to Murfreesboro, along with New Mexico State. So let's see how they do. Let's see if they get some excitement going. I think Derek Mason was a fantastic choice for the Blue Raiders, but I'll go back again. If he can recruit locally, and like you said, Danny, there's too much good talent. They're coming from all over looking at our kids, and we got to save as many as we can.
We sure do, because it just builds the program, because the fan interest and all that other kind of stuff, and we want people to understand. Like I said, you can go right over on Greenland Drive and see some good college football and see it live.
Right.
You know, and to me that's a heck of a lot better than sitting in front of my TV watching, Alabama play Shippensburg State.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk a little big boy football in that way, the SEC, and then we'll do a little quick rundown of high school.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
Pizza. You can now order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. We've made ordering online a breeze. From sirpizzatn.com, tap on the location nearest you and begin your order for carryout or delivery. You can order the Royal Feast, create your own, spaghetti, calzones, everything right from our online portal at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Whether you're a student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go Blue!
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
All right, we're back. We're moving and grooving. This is our last big segment of the first show. We've teed it off pretty good, I think. Gentlemen, let's talk SEC football. It is stacked. It is loaded. 4 teams in the top 6, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, and Ole Miss, all predicted to be at the top. You've got Missouri, LSU, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M in the top 20 for 9 teams. 2 more, Kentucky and Auburn, are also mentioned. So 11 of the teams are in what they consider the top 40 teams in college football. Do you like the addition of Texas and Oklahoma as an SEC fan?
No. And it's just because I'm a purist, man. I'm a purist. They need to be playing in the Southwest Conference with Texas A&M and all them other peoples, because the whole thing is the landscape has changed so drastically. Like I said, I'm a purist. I liked it when Tennessee was playing Oklahoma. It was Tennessee guys versus Oklahoma guys, and there may be a few Texas guys, Kentucky guy, whatever, sprinkled in there. But your roster was predominantly, and that was what made all these intersectional matchups so cool, was because, hey, and there was more pride and all that kind of stuff. And so now when we're sprinkling all stuff, and here's my question. Of course, I know they're expanding the playoff schedule and all that kind of stuff, but what's it going to do for the league when you have a murderer's row schedule, when Texas and Oklahoma's on your schedule along with Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Ole Miss, all those other juggernauts, Florida, Georgia, all those other juggernauts? What is that going to do for you? And of course, it's more than just about the playoffs, and that's what I think where people get lost too much in this stuff. It's about competing every week for the pride of your school and the pride of your area. And now, since there's all this recruiting where kids go all over the place all the time, we've lost some of the little bit of that intersectional matchup type stuff as far as the true essence of it. And that I don't like. But, hey.
Well, the age of be true to your school, that's long gone. That's even gone in high school.
No, absolutely, yeah.
You think about high school was always, you never thought about leaving and moving somewhere else to play.
Now they've given a transfer rule.
Yeah. So, that's all changed. It never will go back to that. I still love, my favorite bowl game was Lindsey Nelson announcing the Cotton Bowl. And that voice of his and the Cotton Bowl atmosphere, to me, it just epitomized the past. But
right.
we're in the future now.
Yeah, because then, you had, if it was, and that was the beauty of the bowl games, was because it would be those intersectional matchups. You would have those conference tie-ins where you knew that West Coast was going to be playing Southeast, or Big Ten was going to be playing whatever. You would have those intersectional matchups, and that's what made it all special. But you're right, it's totally gone. It's totally changed. I guess I need to kind of like
let it go.
That's right. I
let
need
it
to
go.
quit being a dinosaur and get with it.
Well, we all know what's driving it. It's the almighty dollar. You get better matchups, you're going to get better gates. You may not make the playoffs, but you're going to make your payroll. You're going to make your NIL. It is what it is. It does get kind of defeating as a fan sometimes watching that. Tennessee opens on the 31st at home against Chattanooga. Former Riverdale kid, and I can't think of his name, and I should be ashamed. He plays linebacker for Chattanooga. My wife will kill me for not remembering
Mitchell?
that kid. Yeah, Mitchell will be playing for Chattanooga. He's a real good player. And then Vanderbilt opens against Virginia Tech at home coming up 31st. So college is just around the corner. But really around the corner is high school football starting a week from tonight. So we're kicking you off for the season this weekend. You've also got coming soon the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. It returns for its 31st year as well. Beginning at 9 a.m., gentlemen. 9, not 8. Now, was that a Brian Barrett, John Deakins, or coach's request, I wonder?
Well, I think here's the root of it. Brian, being the forward-thinking guy that he is, if we have to add schools, which we will, because, growth is inevitable. We're going to have new schools. With the growth around here, that we need another high school or two right now. With the growth, that gives us liberty to maybe go back to the 8 o'clock, start if we have to have growth. But also, like what Rod mentioned, a lot of these coaches, they won't get in bed until maybe midnight or after on Friday night, and then that gives them another hour to kind of get combobulated and find the coffee pot and all that kind of stuff before they roll in here. But I think that the root of it is to give us more flexibility to add schools when this comes to pass. And I think it's just a matter of time before we have another high school in Rutherford County or two.
And the coaches do such a good job showing up on Saturdays, win or lose. We sure appreciate them. The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner is fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's of Murfreesboro, McGuire Management. And you can listen to your favorite high school coach each Saturday morning live here on FM 100.5, 101.9, AM 1450, and streaming at WGNSradio.com. Mr. Barrett also puts the podcast shortly up on the WGNSsports.com website. So you've got ways to listen to coaches after your games. It starts at 9 o'clock with Riverdale, and every 15 minutes you'll get a new coach: Smyrna, Blackman, Laverne, Oakland, Stewart's Creek, Rockville, Siegel, Eagleville, and then 11:15 is the MTCS Cougar Corner. But the State Farm Prep football season begins next week with a special 2-game opening weekend next Thursday night, August 22nd, broadcasting from Siegel as they host Shelbyville. And then on Friday night, we'll be down there in Danny Brewer Country at Smyrna as they host the Riverdale Warriors. Brian Barrett and John Dinkins will be back for their 26th year behind the WGNS microphones and will be joined from week to week by Rod Edwards, Danny Brewer, and or Bill Hockenberry. And you said we don't know who's going Thursday, but you're going to be there Friday.
Yeah, I'll be doing the halftime and post-game analysis at the Smyrna River game. The Bobby Bowl, named for Bobby Wells. Bobby Wells was a fantastic guy. And we call it the Bob. We started that last year. We had the tent there and everything like that.
Riverdale,
at Riverdale. The Bobby Bowl. Bobby Wells, superb gentleman. Coached a lot at Smyrna. Then he had a little stint at Blackman as head coach. Then he coached at Riverdale and stuff. And like I said, couldn't ask for a better guy that cared more about kids than Bobby Wells. And of course, unfortunately, cancer took him from us too early. But the Bobby Bowl, man, it's going to be a head. I'm getting geeked right now thinking about what a first game matchup. Riverdale, Smyrna, old time rivals, all that good stuff.
Rod, you're going to be there Thursday and Friday?
I haven't heard.
Haven't heard. You haven't got your official schedule. You would think the award-winning Brian Barrett and John Dinkins would have had this schedule already made, wouldn't you?
Well, I think that what happens is the award-winning Brian Barrett and John Dinkins, they know where they're going to be, and then whoever they may draw names out of a hat to see who's lucky enough to be with them.
Well, they keep me out of that equation because I follow my wife and the Riverdale Warriors around. So when Danny's will get that halftime report next Friday night. So wherever the Warriors are, I'll be jumping in on WGNS trying to keep you up to date how the Warriors are doing. Now, Rod, you'll help them out in most games, though, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I suppose so. That's right.
Because I know sometimes you've helped us out also with.
Last year I went to the Thursday and the Friday.
Thursday games.
There was at Tullahoma last year.
It's right around the corner, folks. And once you hit football season, the Friday nights just start clicking off. Now, of course, the big thing, gentlemen, every year we start with the quarterback situation. There's only a couple of schools that have a returning quarterback. One we've mentioned already, talking about the Oakland Patriots and senior Kyler Creasy. But they split time last year with Patrick Freeman. But Patrick Freeman is not playing football this year. So it's all on senior Kyler Creasy's shoulders. And poor Kyler broke his collarbone twice last year. Twice.
Yes.
Got back and then broke it again. But he's back. He says he's bigger. He's stronger. Dad's had him in the weight room. And
Dad has access.
He's got plenty of firepower with him with Southern Cal commitment Dwayne Morris. And assuming maybe y'all heard, he also got
T.T. Hill's coming back.
T.T. Hill's coming back
Academy
for his senior year. So, I mean, they're going to be right back in that explosive, quick offense.
Was it Tut is
Tut's just a junior.
Right.
He's just a junior, and he's one of the most sought-after juniors in the state at the safety position.
It's just a hats off to them that they do a fantastic job of cultivating talent. But it's just like it's never rebuild, it's reload, and that's just kind of how it's been down there under Kevin Creasy.
Well, what I like too though is they're not bigger than the program. The program's more important than the individual.
Absolutely right, and that starts at the top with Kevin Creasy.
Well, I'm not going to tell names, but I talked to a family, might have been yesterday or the day before, and they moved from Montana. And I said, what brought you to Murfreesboro? I said, well, we had some friends in Murfreesboro. And I said, well, where do y'all live? Well, we live over there, and my other kids go to Oakland. I said, really? She says, yeah, we're a football family. And so we try to find a place to bring our kids to grow up and play football. And she said, so we decided on Oakland.
I wonder why.
And again, that's the Kevin Creasy effect, the winning effect.
People do their homework, because if you look back, this guy is just a winner. And Coach Creasy, you can send me the check later. But when you look at what he did before he was at Oakland, the guy just wins. He just wins. He knows how to do it. And the beauty of all this to me, I enjoy going to Oakland games because, like I said, I'm a purist, I'm a dinosaur, all that kind of stuff. But what they do is very basic. They're just extremely good at what they do. And they don't have to be fancy. It's very basic. We're going to block, we're going to tackle, we're going to run the football, we're going to control the clock, we're going to play really good defense, and we're going to punch you in the mouth. And that's what they do. And they've won, they've been in the state title game 4 years in a row.
Other quarterbacks returning: Stewart's Creek Jacob Jones returns, and PCA senior Tatum Marks returns. So everybody's kind of trying to figure out the quarterback situation. That's always huge at every school. There's a lot of talent. We're running out of time to not talk about it. We'll try to dive deep into high school next week. Next week's show will be 50 minutes, gentlemen, because we'll have to get to count down to kickoff. But we'll dive into more players. But Danny, you said something about a winner. It just made me think again the other day. Riverdale scrimmaged Boyd Buchanan and Coach Gary Rankin, who received a wonderful award, like so many he's gotten. Speaking of winners, Kevin Creasy, of course, he was at Trousdale, and Coach Rankin started at Smith County, and his wins going through Riverdale, Alcoa, and that Boyd Buchanan, he got inducted to the National High School Sports Hall of Fame. Well deserved.
I think that anybody who has been around here for a while, if you saw Gary Rankin teams, then you understood what kind of a guy he was. Here was one of the things that I always liked about Coach Rankin too. This is way back. I don't know if he still does it, but he always wore a tie on the sidelines. When he was coaching at Riverdale, he wore a tie on the sidelines. Because like I said, old days, a coach wanted to look like somebody. Well, most people wanted to look like somebody in old days. Now, they I don't know if they're as interested, but things have changed a lot. Sorry, I'm a dinosaur, Rod. But but that was one of the things is Coach Rankin, he looked like a winner, and then when you saw the scoreboard, you knew he was a winner.
Well, I've wore a tie all week at school, Rod, and I'm tired of it already. I'm not wearing a tie tomorrow. I even let the teachers wear blue jeans tomorrow. A couple of high school notes to mention. We've got two teams going to break in new turf really soon. Turf is the word. And Rockville and Riverdale are both breaking in new turf. I know Smyrna's enjoyed their new turf.
Absolutely. Well, what it does for the school is it gives you that versatility where you can have lots of stuff going on that field, not only to make money for the school and support your programs, but also just your practices and just and this is like soccer, band, all that kind of stuff. Where before, if you had a big football game and there was like a little bit of rain in the forecast, wasn't nobody getting on that doggone football field, because you couldn't, because it would mess it up. Where now it gives them so much versatility. So the turf is the way to go. And talking with an unnamed source, if we have a new high school built, it will have a turf field, I'm sure, right out of the gate, just because and in the end, I think it's more cost effective. And the one thing that the football coaches, I'm sure, enjoy now is that means they ain't got to mow it. Mr. Rakes, we were talking, and Mr. Rakes, when he said this, and I believe him, when he was football coach at Smyrna back in the 60s, he push mowed the football field.
There's no story I won't believe about Mr. Rakes, that's for sure. So it is exciting. And you mentioned too, because I know Miss Blair at Riverdale's talked about it. Her band's gotten to use it. Girls soccer getting ready to use it. It does. It opens up so many possibilities. All right, we're going to close out this final section and come back and talk about the weekend here on WGNS.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Middle Tennessee Christian School. training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck duck goose. You do anything to protect your kids. I'm State Farm Agent Dana Womack, and it's important to protect them with life insurance. I can make it easy and affordable for you to protect your family.
Your home, your auto. Together, they're where life happens. I'm State Farm Agent Ron Reeves. It's smart to protect them together to help life go right. Give me a call at 615-873-1700 and let me help you by combining your home and auto.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
I want expert advice on going 100% solar.
I want to go green without breaking the bank.
I want to meet my sustainability goals.
I want solar to be simple.
Done, 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 done.
I want to save the planet.
Little hero, let's start with one of MTE's solar programs first. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
We're at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive, where, of course, they've got barbecue and smoked chicken, ribs, but they have other favorites.
Our chicken tenders are delicious. We bread them here ourselves. We have so many different kinds of sides, and our nachos are really good and popular. I love the menu. I could literally eat here every day.
Anne Marie Brent's at Rick's Barbecue.
We're thankful for the customers. We have a lot of regulars, loyal customers that come in, and when they come in, I already know their order.
Bet you're hungry now. We'll see you at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
All right, we have buzzed through the first hour of the first show of the year. It's been a good one, good conversation. That's the best part of the show, is just good conversation. For all you WGNS folks, Braves baseball, they're playing the LA Angels starting tomorrow. You'll catch games on Friday and Saturday, not on Sunday because of a late start, and you'll catch your Braves back on Tuesday when they play the Phillies. Again, the Coach's Corner Show with Brian, John, and Danny starts this Saturday.
This Saturday.
So all the moaning and groaning and we're no good is going to start on preseason.
Oh, of course, all the coach speak. Yeah, of course, you know.
Coach speak will be given out left and right. Next week, again, will be a little bit of a short show because we'll have our first game of the year, again, over at Siegel High School playing Shelbyville. Shelbyville had a really good season last year. That could be a tough opener for Siegel. I think they lost their quarterback, though, didn't they, Rod? Shelbyville?
I'm not sure, but I know Rockville, I heard that they scrimmaged them, said they look really good.
Shelbyville looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll dive deep what we know of each team next week. We'll really spend a lot of time talking about the kids that we expect across the county to come up and do big things this year. Again, a lot of kids getting a lot of looks from a lot of colleges, and they should.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yeah. We're a hot bit of talent, like we said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Little message to Monty Hill: get that pigskin pics and all the players and the profiles that you have. Get it out there this week.
It's good stuff. So for Rod Edwards, Danny Brewer, I'm Clark Blair. We'll see you back next Thursday.
Portions of our programming have been pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, flagship station for MTSU Sports. Courthouse clock time, 7 o'clock. Now an update from the WGNSradio.com News Center.
I'm Ron Jordan. The iconic Oscar Mayer Wienermobile is rolling into Middle Tennessee this week, and residents in neighboring Woodbury